This is not Islam. And I spend most of my time in America telling people this. That's not Islam.
هو الفكرة كلها ان احنا نوضح النموذج الصحيح للرجل المسلم، بمعنى لو شفنا اي تصرفات سلبية او اي مواقف غير سليمة من بعض الناس او الاخوة المسلمين، ففي الحالة دي كبعض الناس ممكن يتأثر بيها، لكن في نفس الوقت مش مفترض ان انا اعمل عملية تبرير لكل موقف بعمله او كل حاجة بعملها، لان ده بيختلف. لكن مفترض هي أمضت وقتها كله في أمريكا بتحاول تصحح الصورة الصحيحة للإسلام، أو مش تصحح سوري، تصحح وجهة نظر الناس عن الإسلام وتبين وتبرز وجهة النظر الصحيحة عن الإسلام والمسلمين. ده النموذج السليم وده النموذج الخاطئ. فده دورنا، يعني دورنا إن احنا نبين إن ده مش النموذج السليم. زي في طالبان أو أفغانستان، بعض الناس ممكن يعملوا تصرفات ما تنمش الإسلام بالصلة من كتر ما هم متعصبين أو كتر ما هم متزمتين، بياخدوا تصرفات فيها تطرف زيادة، زي انهم يرموا احماض على البنات اللي رايحة مدرسة لان البنت المفروض ما تتعلمش، ده خطأ. فلازم نوضح التصرفات دي. But still, you didn't tell us how we can do this. There are things that the memory cannot forget, like 11th September. So how we as Muslims can erase this negative thing about Islam? كيف نصحح الصورة السلبية المأخوذة عن الإسلام by the media? The media controlled the minds, of the people. So they think that these negative things, they join into Islam. They say Islam ordered us to do this. So how we can focus on this as Muslims?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No, honestly. I mean, it's really big. It's a big thing. I mean, it's a very big thing. And I don't know... I really don't know, because it's very big. I mean, how do you get into the news and get them to get the right picture about Islam? I mean, even if they talk about the topic in France about the niqab, for example, and you watch Al Jazeera news, and they're talking about this problem in France of the women wearing niqab, and they want to ban it, and they're not going to have the burqa and all this stuff. Did you see one single niqabi talking about the issue? They don't interview them. Everybody who's going to talk about hijab are not wearing hijab, including the women talking about the subject. They don't talk about it. If you, for example, I worked for the American school here, and they had a thing where they were going to tell the people about Islam. The woman who came to talk about Islam, she's smoking cigarettes, she had a beer in the lunch, and there was no scarf on her head. She was from like Rosal Yusuf, and she was there to talk about Islam and the family. What's this? So I think we need to get more representation out there of people who are really doing their deen to speak for Islam, because who speaks for Islam? Who? Who is it? Is it the Taliban? Or is it Rosal Yusuf? Or that magazine? You know what I'm talking about? It's not at all Islamic, So who is speaking for the Muslims? I mean, even on Al Jazeera in English, you rarely find a woman, she's covered, talking about hijab, abadan. And I'm not saying, I know that it's not the only people who practice their deen wear hijab, but it's an alama, it's a sign, And you never find anybody. And if they're talking about the niqab issue, why aren't there niqabis there talking about it? So I don't know, we need to be out there more, we need to be involved more, we need to, I don't know. I just don't know what else to say more than that. We need to be on the TV. We need to be in the news. We need to be writing editorials for the newspaper, or we need to be out there. That's all I can say.
للأسف هناك بعض الناس ممكن ما تكونش هي الناس المثلى لإعطاء الصورة الصحيحة عن الإسلام. زي مثلا مرة في المدرسة الأمريكية جت واحدة مش محجبة تشرب سجاير ومعاها ازازة بيرة وبتشرح للأولاد الصورة المثلى للإسلام. فشخصية زي دي ممكن تدي انطباع خاطئ جدا عن المسلمين او الاسلام، لان مش هي الشخص الامثل لاعطاء الفكرة الاصح عن الاسلام. فالفكرة ان احنا عشان ندي الصورة الصحيحة للاسلام مفترض يبقى في هيئة رسمية معنية بالمعنية زي الازهر الشريف او مجمع البحوث مثلا، بتعمل دور الميديا، بتخاطب الناس غير المسلمين وتدي فكرة احسن للاسلام بالميديا، بالناس الصحفيين والناس علماء الازهر الشريف اللي يكتبوا ويدوا وجهة نظر ومعرفة احسن للناس اللي عايزين يعرفوا اكتر للاسلام. وغالبا المعرفة دي بتكون منبع ذاتي من الشخص. في سؤال معانا. سؤال هتقولوا بعدين.
بتقول ونحن خلقناكم من نحن.
نعم.
في آية بتقول ونحن خلقناكم من نحن.
في آية بتقول ونحن خلقناكم من نحن.
There's an ayah in the Quran says we created you ونحن خلقناكم. ونحن he doesn't know sometimes نحن is referred to plural, many people, so God only one. So this ayah is talking about نحن خلقناكم. نحن is used for many people. So the ayah, if it's explained or translated in English, means that many people created you. I'm gonna answer something. The king or an important person sometimes say نحن يعني glorified we. You can explain.
Yeah. It's called the glorified we. For example, Queen Elizabeth in London, she says, we are coming to, and she's talking about herself because she's the queen. She's the queen. So we call it in English the glorified we. So it's just to show the Adam of Allah. He calls himself we to show he's so fantastic, just to be defined as one, as I. Yeah.
في صيغه اللي هي صيغه الملكيه، يعني على ابسط مثال من ناحيه البشر لما يجوا يتخاطبوا كصيغه ملكيه او صيغه تعظيم بيتقال نحن امرنا نحن بتعظيم كذا كذا. فهي كلمه نحن دي بتتقال للتعظيم. فسبحانه وتعالى عز وجل الله سبحانه وتعالى لما يتكلم عن حاجه بيتكلم صيغه نحن لتعظيم الله عز وجل وعلا. اتمنى الفكره تكون وصلت. فهنا برضك في الانجليزي معروفه وي اللي هي glorious وي، يعني نحن المعظمه. ايوه اتفضلي ايوه شكرا حضرتك.
هو دي حاليا اللي هي حملات كتبت خصوص السيدة. عايزة أعرف إزاي إحنا كبشر عاديين جدا نرد على الحملات دي، وإزاي إحنا نمثل صورة السيدة عائشة كبنت.
Some of the media, like in Denmark, when they published some of the characteristics that photographing Muhammad or Aisha as something like this, they give a bad picture about Islam in the characteristics in the media, in the published newspaper in Denmark. So it's global and it's publishing. Like also the Indian, I don't know his name, Salman Rushdie also. Some of these publishers or writers, if we gave them an interest or a misreaction, they misunderstood us, and Muslims they don't know how to react. So what's the suitable reactions to stop these from doing what they want? ما هو الرد الفعل الامثل عشان نمنع سليمان رشدي او نشري كاريكاتيرات المسيئه للرسول او ستنا عائشه عليه الصلاه والسلام ورضي الله عنها، بحيث ان احنا نمنع الناس دي؟ رد الفعل المثالي ايه؟ لان احنا لو صرنا عليهم او عملنا اي حملات مضاده ممكن الناس دي تشتهر اكتر وتتمادى. فايه رد الفعل الامثل عشان الناس دي تقف عند حدها؟
I'm not really sure, but in my opinion, and what I've read, and the scholarly opinions that I've read on this topic, I think that it's best that we don't make these things big. We don't make these problems expanded by making a big deal out of them. A lot of times if we just ignore these cases, for example, Salman Rushdie's book was terrible actually. Nobody would have bought it. Nobody would have even paid attention to it, except that we made a big deal about it, and then everybody ran around and bought it because they want to know why there's such a big deal about it. And so then it expanded him and it made him a big popular figure. And so it's the same thing with the cartoons. Denmark is a small little country, insignificant. They do this. Of course, we don't like it, and it could be that the ambassadors in that local country could go and say this is not polite, we find it offensive, write an editorial in that country, maybe anything small. But the world reaction, burning the flag, making a big scene, doing all this stuff, I feel it's not useful. I think sometimes boycotting is useful. We just quietly say we're not going to buy Denmark products, quietly. We just do it. But I think when we get all excited and start acting crazy and burning flags and marching up and down the streets and things like this, I think it doesn't help our cause. I really don't.
ردود الفعل المناسبة لهؤلاء التجاهل التام، لأننا لو أظهرناهم أي نوع من أنواع الاهتمام، وخصوصا بعض المظاهر التي قد تفسر إن هي همجية زي مثلا حرق الأعلام أو سير في مظاهرات، دي مش هتمنعهم إن هم يمشوا في الطريق اللي هم اختاروه مسبقا. يعني هنا ممكن بعض أنواع التمثيل الهادئ زي مثلا التمثيل الدبلوماسي ورسالات الاحتجاج وأيضا مقاطعة